embark on the Great Canadian Farm Tour, it is important to acknowledge that we are on the traditional lands of Indigenous peoples. Agriculture in the Classroom Canada recognizes and honors the enduring presence of the diverse Indigenous communities across Canada, including the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. We acknowledge the deep connection that Indigenous peoples have to the land, waters, resources, and all of agriculture. We express our gratitude for their stewardship and custodianship of these lands for generations. Agriculture in the Classroom Canada recognizes that acknowledging the traditional territories we reside and work on is only a small step towards reconciliation. We ask that we all continue to learn more about the Indigenous peoples in these regions, to consider the history and ongoing colonialism on this land, and to reflect on how each of us can contribute to reconciliation.
Hello, welcome to Destination Season 4 of the Great Canadian Farms. My name is Julie. I'm a director here at the agriculture here in Canada. And before starting, we want to just do a few recalls for those who want to follow us in English. Just use the Boost Lingo link in the chat to have access to interpretation of this event. We ask that everybody be mindful that it's an educational event and appropriate conduct and happening in such chats as spamming and improper comments will not be tolerated throughout the tour. We will welcome your posts and questions to chat to get them answered. We will answer as many as we can. The mystery word for your student activity book will appear at the end of this episode, so please stick around. Students, important answers to your student activity books, such as the provincial tree and the meaning of the provincial coast of arms, will be shared during the brain break. Finally, we would love to know where everyone is joining us from. So please comment the school and location of this one. Thank you. Can we go meet Yvonne on our farm? Hello, everyone. Hello, Yvonne. And so we would like to welcome our host of the Great Canadian Farming Tour, Yvonne, who is an apple, pear, and a dairy farmers, as well as a nutritionist at the Throne Nutrition Canada in Quebec. Hello, Yvonne. So thank you for joining us today for this great tour. So first of all, would you like to talk to us a bit about yourself? Yes, I was born in Switzerland. So born in Switzerland, I arrived here at the age of 5 in Quebec. And my parents bought a milking farm in Lanaudière on the North Shore. So I was raised on a milk farm during my youth. When I finished my secondary 5, I went to study at the Institute of Technology in Quebec in Saint-Hyacinthe in animal production. So it's really a school that's there for agriculture. And afterwards, I've always worked in nutrition and parallelly with the milk farms. That is really interesting. Thank you for the share. Would there be a school that you would like to say a little hello to in particular? Yes, maybe two schools I would like to underline. The Saint Damas School, a primary school where we're near, and the school at St. Peter, where my children went for all their youth. And now they're older, but they were there for many years with super great friends and teachers. I hope they're listening. And for this event, we'd like to explore robotic dairy farming through a series of video tours alongside Yvonne, who will then answer your burning questions. So get your keyboards ready and teachers ready. We'll answer after these little videos. And we'll go with the first one. The steps. Hello, today we will explain the different steps of the life of a milking cow. Will not only give us milk, but also a bunch of other milk products after transformation. When the cow is born and drinks colostrum that comes from the cow, like for us humans, when the mothers are milking, colostrum is important for the immune system. The animals put in a special space, especially for them. With the ones of the same age and new friends where they get milk, food, and care. One, the calf is a female. They're collagenous, and they will become a tour. And when they get to be an adolescent, they grow up with food that is there, and they have rations. One ration is a recipe made especially for every one of these groups. We will speak later about these rations later. When the genus is 2 years old, they get the first baby, and it becomes a milking cow. And like for us humans, it takes a baby to make milk. After the born of the baby, the cow produces milk, and more, the cows live in liberty, where they're treated many times a day with different treatments that we call robots. They receive food, a balanced food system like soya, corn, and minerals, and a lot of water. Through the years, the cows will continue giving milk after every baby they bring. They're verified by the farmers on a regular basis on the farm. It's because of these milking cows that we can have milk to make a cheese, yogurt, and even ice cream that come from here and that are of high quality. So the next time you drink a glass of milk, think of all the work that a cow does for you. Wow, that farm is magnificent. First of all, thank you. And the little cows are so beautiful. So we'll now respond to a few little questions. Friends, you have questions, Madame Booker, Madame Booker's class that asks, are the cows there Holsteins? Yes, they're Holsteins 100%. Do we have another question, my friends? Madame Booker's class again. She has a lot of questions. That's great. How much milk do the cows produce per day? Can we know that? Yes, with the robot that gives us all the information. The average right now today is 40 kilos of milk per day on average. So we're really happy about that. 40 kilos. How many liters of milk would that make? 40 kilos is almost 40 liters. So there's not much difference. It's a lot of liters of milk. Almost 40 pints of milk. That's a lot of milk. So let's continue with the next video. That's where we're at, Yvonne. So we'll try to learn more on robots. So this is the path of milk from the cow to your table at home. In Quebec, the cows are brought up in family farms. After having a baby, they produce milk. At the Montagne, they're treated 3 times a day because of a system of robots. This system is very efficient and very easy for the cows. The milk is then sent into the pipes to a big reservoir that is kept cold. Once it's gathered, the milk will not stay on the farm. A truck that is refrigerated will come and get it every 2 days and transport it to a transformation plant. In the plant, the milk is pasteurized to then be put in cartons or bags of milk. It's also transformed into other products as well. Because of our milk from here, we can eat yogurt, butter, and delicious cheeses that are made here. All these products are transported in our supermarkets. So the next time that you drink a glass of milk or they eat yogurt, cheese, think about the whole path that it's went through to get to your table from the cow to the farm and finally in your supermarket and in your home. Wow, that makes a lot of products that we make with milk, Yvonne. Absolutely. Okay, we have questions that come from everywhere across Canada. You know that, Yvonne, we've been listening to you from everywhere across Canada. Elodie Robert, Charlotte is asking, why do the cows have those stickers on their ears? To be able to identify them. That is why every one of those cows or animals, it's an obligation actually, they have tags that we call, that we put them on them at their birth to be able to identify them during their whole cycle of life. That's interesting. Even I didn't know that. Do I have another question? Yes, we do. Alice asks, at what age do the cows get their tags on their ears? Okay, we're talking about these tags. Well, we have to put them before 1 week old. So we give them a few days of life and then quickly we put the tags on. We're not a very big farm, but the bigger farms have a lot of cows. And so they have to be tagged quite quickly, not to get them mixed up. And I think I have a third question. Diego's class, Mia would like to know, do you give names to your cows? Yes, we do. Absolutely. Every cow has a name. We try to always give them a name with the first letter of the mother. And so if the mother is called Beyonce, we'll start with the B. Barbie, for example, to continue the letter. Oh, that's pretty cool. A cow that's called Beyonce. I think that that's funny. Thank you, Yvonne. I think we'll go with the third video. No, sorry. We'll go with a little break, get to know more about Quebec. Hello again, Yvonne. It's really interesting to see how important it is for Quebec. And we will go for our next video because technology of milking is really important, even on your farm, and we'll learn more about that as well. In the farms in Canada, the cows are not treated manually, they're milked manually. One of the ways that to milk them is with machines, intelligent machines that milk the machines softly when the cow wants to get milked. This is how it works. Every cow goes to its own rhythm and chooses when they want to get milked. When they're ready, they walk to the robot. The robot is a machine that is very special that recognizes every uh, cow because of the necklace that every cow carries. It lets the robot know which one it is milking. And once the cow is in the machine, the robot takes care of everything, uses lasers to find the milking. And it brings it slowly, the machine upon it, and starts milking it. The machine is very precise and it waits for the cow to be very feeling good. And we give them special food that is a bit like a candies, and that gives them to attract them into the machine. With the electronic necklace, the robot knows if it's a good moment or not to milk the cow. If it's not the moment, then there's no candy and it's not the right time, and the cow can leave the machine. The robot can analyze the quantity of milk produced, its quality, and to analyze the health of the cow. If something is not going well, it could even send an alert to the farmer on his cell phone. With the robots, the milking is done without the farmer being to be there all the time. Robots on the farm are being multiplied. We have many different types of robots, and there are robots to clean their backs, rub their backs, and all these robots that give a good life to the cows and a good health. A happy cow can produce high quality milk, and it's good for everyone. And so, because of the technology of the robots, the milking robots, the milking cows can be milked comfortably, and the farmers gain a quality of life and time, and we have a high quality milk. It's a beautiful technology that helps to take care of the cows and to guarantee the right milk for everyone. Wow. I'm really happy to find that out. That's really interesting. I think that your children will have really a lot of questions as well. And so, Madame Genevieve's class, Arnaud is asking, is the milk cold or hot? The temperature of the milk comes out at the temperature of our body, so about 37 degrees Celsius. And after that, it goes towards the refrigerator. It's almost the same temperature as a good warm shower, right? Yeah, it's still pretty warm, actually. That's great. That's a beautiful question from Arnaud. Another question? The class of Audrey Descoteaux. Question from Mimil. What is the average weight of a cow? That's a great question as well. When the cow has its first baby, it weighs about 600 kilos. More she gets older, she takes weight. So a cow that is more mature, that we call at the adult age, it can weigh about 700, 750 kilos. Not quite a ton, but some cows can weigh a ton. Wow, the bigger cows. A third question from the class of Diego. Santiago would like to know, how old is a cow when she stops milking? Actually, she can give milk during the whole time that she always has babies. If she it could be 10, 11, 12 years old, there's no limit. As soon as she has a little baby cow, she will create milk. A cow lives how much time? The average in Quebec is not that high, I would say, but about 5 to 10 years. Our objective and the farm here is to keep them the longest possible. So as long as she's healthy, the challenge is always to keep them healthy. And when they're in form and they're healthy, we keep them as long as possible comfortably. That's great. A last question. The class of Justine. Kelsey would like to know if you have a favorite cow. I would say that every child has their favorite cow. Even my husband has a favorite cow. So we all have a favorite cow. And our three children will we all have our favorite cow. Yes. So there's at least 8 cows that have more hugs, but they're not always at the farm. Thank you, Yvonne. And so let's go for the fourth video. We'll talk more about food. I can't wait to hear more about it. As a nutritionist, I have to calculate the rations for the cows. The rations are recipes, and they are different according to the needs of the cows and the ingredients that are available on the farm. A ration has food, grains, and minerals. In our farm, the feeding of the milking cows is considered corn. Corn is a whole corn that is kept during the whole year. There exist different ways of keeping the food in silos and bags that we call guimauves, and that we often see in the fields. And the next part is the fibers. They need fibers to eat and to be healthy. And after we add grain to bring energy and protect proteins. We can't forget the minerals and the vitamins. like for us, that they're essential for the animal. All these ingredients are mixed like a cake, and we add a bit of water to then distribute it to the cows twice a day. That is why it's important to feed the cows very well and to take care of them. They're like Olympic athletes that need a super feeding because must produce quality milk. Well, so the food has a really important role in the production of milk. That's really interesting. And I'm going to have some more neat questions. So Audrey again, that's asking, how many cows do you have? We have a total of 40. We have 40 in total, and we have 9 babies. 40 cows, 9 babies. That's a nice little production of milk. The class of Madame Robert, Mathis asks, how old is your older cow, the oldest cow? We don't have very old ones right now because we haven't been in production for a long time. We started in March with the children, and so it's all young cows that we have. So they'll have had one baby or two maximum, but they're all young cows. We'll talk again in many years, and they'll all still be here with us, and they'll be happy, yes, as well. I don't know who is asking the question, but do cows, can the cows go outside? Here, they can't go outside. We've installed something very comfortable here. Everything is programmed, the ventilation, the lights, the comfort. So the cows now are more comfortable inside than they are outside because they don't receive the sun and they get a lot of ventilation. So they never get a sunburn. No, no sunburns, and they're with their friends and they can walk wherever they want. That's really cool. The class of Mr. Soriel Amira would like to know, why do the cows have necklaces? We did see that in the video. Yes, in the video we explain it. They all have a necklace, a receptor, receiver, that when they go into the milking machine robot, the robot can know what cow it is milking, to know if it is time to milk it or not. So it's so the robot can identify them. I don't know if it's like an air tag. You could localize it. You could know how it goes, like an intelligent watch type thing. That is really cool. Mr. Rulo has a question. Can the robot that can milk how many cows at a time? Well, that's a good question too. It's one cow at a time for each robot. Many farms have more than one robot, but one robot here is one cow at a time. So it is longer to milk them, but it's always milking cow. It doesn't stop except for the cleaning. So even during the night when there are no lights, some cows that go get milked at the robot. Do they make a lineup? Actually, they do make a lineup. There's always like the peak hours, and some cows wait each their turn to go get milked. At night, it's more calm, but some still go at night, and so they're alone there with the robot. Wow, that is so funny. We really have a lot of questions, Yvonne. So I'll have a few more than planned. Jill asks, "Have cows have had twins?" Yes, some cows can have twins. Yes, this summer we had a male and a female, and even it exists triplets. It's not something that's very common, so it doesn't happen that often. But we don't like that as too much because it is difficult for the mother. Obviously, even for a human mom, it must be very difficult. Exactly. The class of Madame Justine Liam is asking how many carers are on the farm. That's a great question. We don't have a great acreage because we have apples and pears. So we have 50 acres, and we rent another acreage in Saint Damas to produce our corn and soya. And I must say that Lilium isn't knowledgeable because he has as many cows as you. That's quite interesting. Manon Beaulieu says, I hope those Elias wants to know, how do you know that a cow is sick? Well, that's a very interesting question. Not even a robot were able to see quite rapidly when a cow doesn't want to eat if she's not feeling well. If she has a temperature, she will stay apart from the others. She won't go with the other animals. She'll go sleep by herself in a quarter. And when we give food, she won't stand up to go eat. So we see it quite quickly if the cow is not feeling well. And there are robots as well that do help and detect the activities. So if the cow doesn't move as much, it doesn't get milked, it will give her other indices or hints. And one last question, I believe, from the class of Mr. Philippe Soriel. Ahmed is asking, why are there ventilators in the farm? That's a great question, too. It's really to air ventilate the cows. They're comfortable at about 10 degrees. So today, it's still pretty warm out here. The temperatures are programmed and the ventilators will turn faster to cool down the space, to cool her down. And during the winter, they'll turn very slowly just to move air around in the farm. In the summer, it's at maximum speed because it's hot outside. It must be really hot with so many cows around them as well. It must dissipate a lot of heat. Okay, so event, we're about at the end of our event. Is there a last word that we'd like to share for the subject of the importance of food and agriculture? What I would say would be curious. Curious, where do our products come from? Ask the questions. How is it made? Go see the farmers of Quebec and see how it's done. So it's really to be curious what we eat. It's important to know where it comes from. Thank you, Yvonne. What a beautiful word for an end. So I hope that all the friends online learned something that was new today. And I'm certain that is the case because I have learned a whole lot today as well. Before stopping this episode today in Quebec, I'd like to thank you for waiting patiently, for waiting for the mystery word. It's a Canadian, mystery word Canadian. Thank you for joining us today for this episode of the Tour of the Canadian Farms in Quebec. Our next stop will be on the 12th of November at 12:30, the farm of Arbre de Noël of l'île du Prince-Édouard from Prince Edward Island.